Hello and welcome to the Our Metroidvania podcast. This is Cauldrath from the Our Metroidvania subreddit and Discord.
Hi, this is Master. I'm also from there.
Hi, I'm Atcero, and I'm the local Crest-like hyphen hater.
I think you're the only one who has like a strong opinion against the
I
hyphen.
really don't even have a strong opinion. It's just because it annoys you.
I thought I was doing it because it annoyed you.
Shit. Got the Spider-Man meme pointing going. But yeah, we're talking about Crest-likes today. And what better Crest-like than Order of Ecclesia?
Demon's Crest.
Rude. Well, you already
You did
played
ask.
that.
Yes. So we're dropping down the second string game.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you agreed with that.
I mean, I'm trying to enter my name because I forgot I had a different save.
Mhm.
I think I can skip this, right? I'm gonna skip this.
Do you need to skip it?
Yeah, I mean, do we need to watch it? We gotta get
We're
to
gonna
the
have no
Crest-like
idea.
action.
We don't know. We're gonna have no idea what's going on.
That's fine. You'll learn in context.
Okay. I actually still have the box for this, but I can't find the cartridge anymore.
It's unfortunate.
I
Yeah.
think I have a... We used to have all three. And then my brother was stupid and sold it.
So yeah,
Crest-likes, woo! Without the hyphen.
with or without the hyphen, that means the same thing.
The term crest-like comes from the fact that Shanoa has a crest on her back that she uses to absorb abilities.
So I believe we have discussed, like, we have at least mentioned Crest-likes,
Yeah.
and the definition thereof in previous podcasts, but we've never really gotten deep into it. So we're taking this opportunity to do it now.
And if you haven't read my glorious Reddit post on it, I recommend you do so, because it's great. Beautiful. Stunning, even. But the name Crest-like actually comes from Cauldrath, who coined it from Demon's Crest, which is a game in which you go through levels that you usually have to return to get abilities to progress through the game, and it usually has a hub.
So it's basically a Metroidvania, except it has some, like, a level select or a hub or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important distinction to make because having separate levels removes the potential for interconnectedness. And that's the main thing that differentiates it from a Metroidvania.
Well, I have seen some interesting things where some, like, it starts out as a Crest-like where you do have the stage select, but then you find later that there are connections between the levels.
Yeah, Demon's Crest kind of did that once in a while, I thought.
No. Definitely not.
I thought it did. I thought it did with some of the water levels. In the catacombs.
Actually...
It wasn't many. I thought it was just like one or two.
Well, I think that it would reconnect, like, it was still in the same level, but it would reconnect.
Oh, just reconnect later.
Yeah. I don't think it was, like, actual separate levels coming together.
Okay. Could have been that. It has been a while since I've beaten it.
Yeah. Yeah, Demon's Crest also doesn't really let you go back. Like, it has areas within the areas, and then once you've, like, gone all the way to the end, you transition into the next one.
Yeah.
And generally doesn't let you go back to the previous one.
Yeah, there's no backtracking. Unlike this one and Pirate's Curse, where you could.
Yeah. Yeah, this Shantae and the Pirate's Curse and Jedi Fallen Order would be some of the most well-known Crest-likes
But
outside of
I
Demon's
thought
Crest.
Jedi was a Metroidvania.
Well, it
Wrong.
has separate planets, so
Exactly. Yeah. And I know people don't like this distinction always. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's like, I think the hub is a make or break.
it does give the game a very different texture to its
Yeah.
exploration. The funny thing is, like, I'll see some people like stop trying to make Crest-like happen.
It's like, it's too late, it's already a thing.
Yeah,
Why would people say such a thing?
they're
Who are
just haters.
saying these things? This is an
People on
obscure
Reddit.
term.
I mean, it's
Or
Reddit.
Facebook.
Or oh, do they say it on Facebook too? I never
Yeah.
post in that group. Mainly because it's like, I mean, there's already one guy on there who doesn't like one of our voices.
Mhm.
And he doesn't ever elaborates why.
It's
Sorry.
probably me.
It's probably me.
I would honestly laugh though if he thought I was a guy and it was just my voice. I would laugh so
you have
hard.
you have a terrible guy voice.
I know, and it's great. Hey, I have been asked if I am a teenage boy before, so you know. It's there apparently to some people.
But yeah, so hub. So the fact that it's separated into stages means that there's no chance that you will, kind of like you were mentioning about Demon's Crest looping into other levels.
Yeah.
When they're separated by enough like space, like especially with the separate planets in Jedi Fallen Order, you can be like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to like walk into a room and then just suddenly find myself back in the starting area.
Yeah. I don't think it does that with Ecclesia either.
Hmm. It doesn't make sense in a lot of settings where
Yeah.
with the way it's separated.
In this one, I think they could have gotten away with it since they're all pretty close to each other on the map, even.
Yeah.
So, like, could have made it work, and I understand why they didn't, but it could have. Hey, don't give me a tutorial. Stop it. Don't care. I know. I've played this game many times. Let me play it.
At what point does a Crest-like become a Metroidvania? Like, one could say that half of this game is a Crest-like and the other half is a Metroidvania, because the last level is just a very large
Yeah.
level.
But that, it's big. But I would say for an MV, at least 75-ish% of the game should be connected. At the very, like, that's one of the minimums. It's not the absolute minimum, but it's, like, pretty close to the minimum amount I would personally say. And I would say that's only, like, 20-ish%.
I think what matters is how much progression you have within the interconnected areas. Like, you could have, say you were playing the Messenger and you didn't get any upgrades until the Metroidvania part. That's
How
kind
the
of...
frick would you do that?
Well, like, you could have a game that has a lot of stuff before you get to the Metroidvania part, and then when you get to the Metroidvania part, that's... Like, it would be different from a Crest-like, because in a Crest-like, you're acquiring the abilities as you progress through the levels. Whereas one could argue that a game in which you don't have any progression in the levels before the Metroidvania part of the game could be... They could be like two separate parts of the game and not a Crest-like.
I think it also depends on how like long that earlier area is.
Yeah.
But like Super Metroid had the space station at the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, and that was a very short intro, I would say.
What if there was an hour-long intro before an average-sized Metroidvania?
Well, how long do you consider an average size Metroidvania?
Well, another question is, if you're not able to return to the area, does it really count? Because the point of a Crest-like is returning to previous levels. Like, that element's always there. Because of, just, So maybe... So, it wouldn't count for Super Metroid because you cannot return to the space station.
Yeah. Well, and I guess for me, depending on how large or long that intro area is... Oh, I didn't want to do that. It would determine how, like, if it detracts from the MV-ness. Like in Symphony of the Night, you start out in the throne room, and yes, you go back to it, but it is kind of a slice away intro in a regard. It doesn't really... Cats are being stupid. It doesn't necessarily... I don't know, detract from the Metroidvania-ness of the Symphony of the Night. Same with Metroid. It's just kind of a little introduction. Even though in Satan's case, it has nothing to do with the actual game for the most part. It's just, hey, look, you can play as Richter. It's Castlevania. Please don't hate us for this new format. And everyone
We are
proceeded to love it.
obviously being pedantic here with like how we would try to rigorously define Crest-like when really that's not any more possible than it is to rigorously define those aspects of a Metroidvania.
Are you kidding me? My definition is perfect and flawless.
Well, you could rigorously define it, like by choosing quantifiable things and then choosing an exact number that makes it work.
Well, that's what I mean. That it's difficult to do that, and it's not really useful to do that. It's better to just talk about the aspects that tend to make it a thing.
I like my definition that I tried to quantify it and then excluded Super Metroid because of how I quantified it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like, I could just adjust that number, but I don't really feel like putting in the work to figure out what the exact number would be.
Here, I'll be right back. The cats are being very stupid.
Yeah, a lot of it, of course, comes down to kind of subjective game feel when saying if a game is a Metroidvania or not. Like, sure, you can quantify, like, it has this many abilities or it has this much interconnectedness, but a lot of it comes down to the perception of those attributes when someone's actually playing the game, for if they would decide to call it a Metroidvania. Sure, you can come up with examples where the game has many abilities, but they're all keys, so then you need to change the definition by differentiating between abilities and keys, and then you need to assign those values, and the game has to reach a certain value in order to be a Metroidvania, and it doesn't work very well.
Yeah, like you could quantitatively determine whether or not something is a Metroidvania or not, but it isn't really that useful because you could have that dividing line, but then the things that are on either side of it are going to be very similar to each other, and like having a distinction between them isn't particularly important. I think that's just more important that you realize that there's like a spectrum of Metroidvania-ness, and like the tropes will generally work better when a game is more Metroidvania.
Yeah. It's interesting to see when people describe certain games as Metroidvanias despite not meeting the criteria most people would agree on, like having abilities, but they think it's a Metroidvania because it captures some of the same feelings they get from playing Super Metroid, say the exploration, the venturing into the unknown,
Like Subnautica.
that sort of thing. Yeah, Subnautica or Outer Wilds or something like that. And it does make you wonder just how useful is this definition, because if a lot of people feel that one game is similar to another, then that is a grouping. You can make that a grouping between those games in the same way that people try to group together games of the same genre. Because at the end of the day, when someone likes one game, the purpose of the genre is to help them find similar games.
Yeah, the problem is that people don't generally agree on the aspects of the game that make them another game like that game. Like if you look at Souls-like, there's so many things that you can use to describe Dark Souls, and people don't agree on which of those aspects are what are the essence of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like single game genres, like or game or genres that are based on a single game, because then you aren't narrowing it down to anything. It's just like one. It's like this
Just
game and
call it the
everything.
company's style.
Yeah, Souls-like is basically just, this game reminds me of Dark Souls in some way.
Yeah.
Whereas a Metroidvania, it reminds you of both Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Reminds you of the intersection between those two games, so it's at least a bit more accurate to something.
Right.
When
And
you
both
only
of
have one
those,
game, the surface elements of that game can leak into the definition.
yeah. So like when somebody says something's a Metroid-like, it's like, so does that mean it's a sci-fi game with horror, like sci-fi horror tropes?
Or is there like
Uh,
no RPG-ness Metroidvania kind of style?
mhm.
With heavy themes of isolation.
Usually when I think of Metroid-like, as compared to the Castlevania side of the Metroidvania, I think of more of an exploration focus.
As opposed to a combat focus.
Hmm. It's not necessarily true, but that is how I perceive it.
I mean, relative to each other, I would say that Castlevania is more combat focused, but I would say they're both exploration focused games.
Yes. Castlevania very much says, heh, kill things.
Hmm. But yeah, getting back to the Crest-like distinction, though, like both Super Metroid and Castlevania have a pretty strong emphasis on their interconnected worlds and how you like stumble onto like routes back into the areas you've already been, which is something you generally don't see in Crest-likes, at least not on a large scale.
No, the interconnectedness is between the levels. And the world building is kind of through the hub.
Yeah.
Get down here, you bitch.
Wait a second, aren't dungeons in Zelda kind of like levels? Aren't Zelda's Crest-likes?
No, 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 no. No.
Did
See,
you guys see the diagram I put in our chat?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a segue. You're
Okay.
supposed to talk about your diagram.
oh,
Yeah,
wait, did you
so
post it? I have not looked.
yeah, so I realized that like so the reason I originally made the Crest-like made up the Crest-like genre was I was trying to like say, okay, Metroidvanias tend to be are interconnected worlds. In what way are like games like do games exist such that they don't have interconnected worlds? And the two main things are they have levels like Demon's Crest, or they have dungeons like Zelda. Um, but then later on, I realized you could consider the overworld to be a hub like you would have in Crest-like, but it's a more expansive hub. And so it's kind of like there's a spectrum between a Crest-like and a Zelda-like to a Metroidvania, where a Metroidvania kind of like the entire world is like the overworld in a Zelda game, and the hub in a Crest-like. But they have the little offshoots from that, and it's kind of like, where is the emphasis on the game? Like a Zelda-like has kind of a similar level of gameplay in the overworld versus the like offshoot dungeons, whereas a Crest-like has almost no gameplay in the hub, and all of the gameplay is in the offshoots. Then a Metroidvania has almost all the gameplay in one singular world, and then they'll sometimes have like offshoots that are just like a challenge or something like that.
It is interesting to consider the other distinctions that people may make just immediately upon hearing Zelda-like. The Zelda games come with their own influences, to where if a game is made with the purpose of being a Zelda-like, it may have many different elements than just the hub dungeon level design.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
those ones can be 2D or 3D flawlessly, in my opinion. And it's one of the only genres, or series, I should say, that has executed that perfectly, in my opinion. Like, even
I don't think
Metroid Prime didn't feel like it felt like a Metroid game, but it didn't feel like a perfect transition to the 3D.
Felt pretty
yeah,
great to me.
yeah, same.
No,
I think
it's
Nintendo's just
great.
done a generally good job of doing the transition from 2D to 3D. Like 3D
Yes.
Mario, they did a good job, and then Metroid with at least Retro Studios doing that.
Yeah.
I
But it
think
still
they
felt like a not a different genre, but a different game. And this is a feeling based one. This is my opinion. But like with Zelda, growing up, I didn't feel a difference between the 2D and the 3D. They just felt like Zeldas. Like, in my mind, I guess I don't make a distinction too much between the top-down and the 3D Zeldas because they feel the same. Well, with Metroid, I have this distinction in my mind. Okay, there's the Metroidvania Metroids, and then there's the 3D Metroids.
I don't share that. I think Mario games probably have the best translation over to 3D in that they have significantly different play styles, whereas it's with the Metroid games and the Zelda games, the 2D and the 3D games both play pretty similarly at their core.
Well, I think starting with the Link to the Past, they were kind of 3D already, because it was top down, but you can like jump up and down like between platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, the best song in the game, right here. And the best song of the game is done after 2 minutes. Or 2 seconds.
Sad. I like the sound effect when you enter a new area. It just sounds like, what did I call it? It's like a Top Chef sound effect or something.
How much damage am I doing? Oh, frick! 8 damage. Might be better to do Torpor for this.
Hell's Kitchen or something.
It is not better to do Torpor. I lied.
Yeah, so this game really,
Ow.
it has a lot of different levels in it, and some of them don't have much in them.
No.
There's some of the levels are basically just a corridor.
Do you think that they did that to try to make it like an introduction type thing and make sure the players can't get lost at first? Kind of like ease them in.
Well, even some of the later areas still are just a corridor. It's not just like the first couple areas.
Yeah, because there's the level with the Jersey Devil I know does that. I don't remember the name. I just know Jersey Devil.
I mean, there's enough areas to where I don't think that having a corridor area is a bad thing. You know, kind of as a pace breaker between some of the larger areas with less straightforward level design. It's still a Castlevania corridor, though.
I like my Castlevania corridors, except I'm. Come on, no, just die.
I do think this game does Castlevania corridors better than any other Castlevania game.
There we go. He
Combat
got boned.
in the enemy placement, I think, is a bit better in this game than it is in some of the other Castlevanias.
Especially on hard mode. I have very much wanted to play hard mode, but I can't do it because they throw you a blaze skeleton right away. That shit sucks. But like the enemy placement they have in that is a lot more fun in my opinion. Oh shit.
So do you think it being a Crest-like allows them to focus more on the like room design, since they don't have to worry as much about the like world design?
I think so. To some degree at least. It's gonna
See,
keep running.
I'm not sure. I don't know. That sounds plausible,
Oh, come on.
but less thought into one thing doesn't necessarily mean that more work gets put into something else.
True.
Sorry, I'm just running for my life here. Yeah.
You still have almost full health.
Yeah, but the evil force sucks at this level. I do think, with this game at least, they did put out more attention into art and music. I don't know if this game has more tracks than other Castlevanias, if I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember if they do it or not. She did a lot of tracks for this game. And each one was a lot different from previous games. This game probably has the most amount of tracks that I skip, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know where they all play, I know each song, but it's like some of them I'll listen to in the car, I'm like, skip. But it also has some of the most, bangers in some regards, too. Like this song. So I think for this game, and maybe not other Crest-likes, but this one at least, they did do a lot more attention to the areas you go to. They're a lot different than what you usually find in at least a Castlevania. Like, they had more artistic freedom with these levels. Like, okay, we're not in a castle, so we don't have to do all castles. Kind of like Curse of Darkness, they did the same thing. And I would say Portrait of Ruin. Ever since Dawn of Sorrow, I would say they tried to get away from that, where it's like, okay, we're in a castle. How many areas can we have a castle, redo it, rehash it, and have it still be fun? So in my opinion...
The way the castles work in Castlevania, though, is that not everything is that castle-like. You'll come across a garden and it'll be like as if you're just completely outside.
I mean, they're already allowed to just throw in whatever they want, and they already don't try to make the castle make sense.
Yeah.
True,
So
but
I feel like they were necessarily
their
limited
goal
by the
is
castle.
to make the castle not make sense.
They still have limitations they keep to, though. Like, they're always gonna have the top floor. They're always gonna have the entrance. They're always gonna have a garden. They're always gonna have a cavern. Not always a gallery, but they're always gonna have the clock tower.
Those aren't... I mean, those don't have to be things... Maybe the clock tower does, but nothing else really feels like it has to be intrinsic to the castle in Castlevania.
They do, though. If you...
They really don't, I mean,
they don't have to, but, how they do it
could not
does.
do it and it'd be fine.
I want my underground area. And I know, I'm part of the problem.
You're the one who killed Castlevania.
Oh, God. No, I would just kill Konami at this point and give the IP to someone who might care a little more.
He doesn't care.
But
But
they just came out with Grimoire or no, shoot, what was it called? Grimoire of Souls?
yeah, Grimoire. Yeah.
Yeah.
GOS.
Yeah, that
Bro,
was.
that gotcha shit can suck my cock.
But they're
Also,
still using the IP.
for
And erotic
gotcha,
violence?
fake gotcha even. Because they can't do true gotcha anymore.
What's the difference between fake gotcha and true gotcha?
True gotcha use real life money.
What's the point of making a gotcha game if you're not taking people's real life money?
Because Grimoire of Soul sucks so bad they had to get bought out by Apple. And then when they got out by Apple Arcade, they couldn't put it on the Apple Arcade has a strict no funds. Like if you have Apple Arcade, you don't have to pay for anything. And a gotcha would go against that. So instead, they just made it grindy as all fuck. That's terrible. Oh, don't stop it. I'm trying to get the axe glyph, I'm sorry. I like my axe sub-weapon.
It takes a long time for the actual glyph to show up.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's kind of a pet peeve of mine in games like this, where it takes a long time to pick up your drops.
Yeah.
Or even determine whether there are any drops.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little annoying.
But I like it when if there's a power up that's like magnet, I always get that first.
Yeah. That is a nice one. You know, other than the main ones we listed, are there any Crest-like or Crest-like adjacent ones? I know Odalis is kind of a Crest-like-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had to go back for power-ups, though. Oh, yes!
Might have been optional, I don't remember.
Yeah, kind of like Cyber Shadow. That was optional. Fricker. Can't go up there? Oh, wait, what did I pick up?
Yeah, I guess there's also the distinction between whether or not you have to go back for optional just power-ups or actual abilities that gate.
Oh, like in a Crest-like, which kind of does both.
Yeah, or there's Metroidvanias, or there's games with interconnected worlds that give you abilities, but you don't necessarily have to go back to previous areas.
That's true.
To get further abilities.
My ass kicked by an invisible man. I mean, I'll take it. Trying to think of any other... Oh, crap, he's gonna kill me. Oh, sweet! Double feature!
Wow.
Yeah, I can't think of any other games, really. Hi, Albus. Oh.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't either.
Interesting. I've never tried to attack him, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a common genre.
Right.
It's definitely a niche one. Because it just hasn't been well defined before this, obviously.
Well, things can exist before they're defined.
I know.
Most of these games came out before I defined it.
No, they can't. Oh. Ow.
How about the debate about whether or not Mega Man is a Crest-like?
No. You do not... in my opinion, Crest-likes are like Metroidvanias. You have to return. And if there is no returning, It's not a it's no.
How about Mega Man 1?
No. Wait, did you have to return?
There so to get
Oh,
through
that's right. It was like one thing.
yeah, to get through Wily's Castle, you need to have the I believe it's called the Magnet Beam, which you get in I believe it's Electric Man's stage.
Though you
And
can do that without going back if you know the proper order, correct?
if you know the proper order, but if you don't go like if you go in a different order, you have to go back to get it with the correct boss power up.
That's one time. I feel like with Crest-likes, it has to be kind of an integral part instead of once. In my opinion, that's just my unhyphenated opinion, though.
Mhm.
Ah, crap. I don't have the glyph sleeve. Frick!
And then you have the Mega Man X series where
If you
you
want all
can
the
get
upgrades,
yeah.
the armor.
But they aren't mandatory upgrades,
No.
so that's the distinction there.
Yeah. Well, the boots are necessary. If you don't get the boots, why are you even playing the game?
I don't think you can even get through that level without getting the boots.
Oh, is that the one they give you?
That's the one where it's like it takes up the entire hallway. Like it might
Okay.
be possible to like dash jump through there from like one edge of the platform to the other, but you have to like try really hard to not get it. Like you probably have to glitch the game somehow.
Yeah. Also, I hear the cat meowing, and I'm sad because I gotta save the cat. There, kitty. Ow. I forgot you could throw it in this game. And they run away like the little bitch they are. Ow.
What is your favorite level in Ecclesia?
Um? Probably the skeleton cave. I really do like that level. Level is sick. But I've always enjoyed the macabres, so I mean... take that how you will. Sickle glyph! Best glyph.
Sound excited.
I love the sickle glyph.
Pretty sick glyph.
Oh, that's right. That's this room.
This is
Ow.
like such a weird transition. You go from like
I know.
oh yeah, into like this technological area. It's almost like you just went from a Castlevania stage into a Metroid stage.
Mega Man level, Melphis Belmont. Yep. I actually don't know when he sent that. I should turn on chat appearance. I hate that. Yeah, literally said it, I think, right before you. Beautiful.
I like how it's kind of like the glyph that you picked up was generating the sparks.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that detail. They do that a lot in this game, and it always makes me happy. Okay, too many of you little shits for my comfort.
They're not here for your comfort.
That sucks. I'm here for mine. So one of us is gonna have to change. Or die. What were you gonna say, Master?
I don't think I was going to say anything.
Oh, okay. Cats are big. Seta chewed the water bottle. It doesn't spray correctly anymore, so I have to go buy a new spray bottle. Because she knew. She knew what was causing her pain.
Dying is a type of change. It is.
Yeah. Very true. Gonna do that one, and then That's slash or mash? I think that's slash. I'm gonna make this. It's just summon a bunch of zombies for me. Alright, time to do the boss fight that gated me every time as a child. Hate the crab.
I like the crab.
I love the crab as a boss fight. From a boss fight perspective, this is not a typical Castlevania boss fight, and I very much enjoy that. However, as a child, I had to get my brothers to beat it, because I was bad baby time with it. Because I didn't understand you had to jump onto the elevator. I never understood that as a kid.
Less like regular Castlevania bosses, the better.
Sometimes I do like my classic Vania kind of boss bitches some days. But I understand how they become annoying.
We can probably agree that Metroid bosses aren't that great either.
No, they're both just fucking missile sponges. Ridley looking at you.
And they did get better in like Fusion and Zero Mission, but
They did. If you just you're mostly just talking about Super Metroid bosses that
yeah, I
can be.
guess. I mean,
disappointing.
original Metroid has bad bosses, and Metroid 2 has probably the worst bosses in the series, excluding maybe the last one.
Well, those came before Super Metroid, the first Metroidvania, so those don't count.
You don't think original Metroid is a Metroidvania?
I was
No,
joking.
it's a proto MV.
What makes it not a Metroidvania? Is it because it doesn't have a map?
Maps maketh the MV. We're gonna have to tag him now because we referenced him. Oh, he's gonna get. Ow. Yeah. Death is great. Alright, what kind of death are you talking about? Are you talking about the robed asshole or are you talking about actual death? I gotta know, Melphis.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Gonna do that. Oh, frick. Oh. Alright, what else do we got on the docket for Crest-likes?
We have a docket.
I don't know.
Oh, there was Metroid 3, Prime 3 Corruption was a
That's true.
Crest-like.
Was it?
Yeah, it had separate planets.
Oh, yeah, I never played it because it was for the Wii. I've been stupid. I could have been using the superior weapon the whole time.
It's interesting how even Crest-likes have there's a variety and they behave in different ways. There's a spectrum for when you consider how many different levels there are, how many the game is divided into.
Mm-hmm. And what abilities you can use in those levels. Like Metroidvanias, you usually have a standard what you get for like abilities and stuff. It's not so much like that in Crest-likes. Especially when you look at something like Demon's Crest, which those abilities were weird compared to any other video game in my opinion. Demon's Crest and Gargoyle's Quest. Ow.
Well, the like Buster upgrade was pretty similar. There's a lot of like break blocks upgrades in Metroidvanias.
But it also had like the sticky walls. Oh shit. Ow. I shouldn't heal. It had that. I don't have any. Ooh. It had that, and he touched me with his claw. It had like the sticky walls. It had the hover, which wasn't an ability in Demon's Crest. It was just something you had. But in Gargoyle's Quest, it was an ability.
Yeah.
And then
you had limited amount of hover, and then you could upgrade it throughout the course of the game until you have infinite. And then Demon's Crest, you're just like, nope, you have infinite from the start.
Yeah. And then you had a wall stick,
Hmm.
which usually that's either a wall jump where you slide down or you learn it. But you also had like breaking walls in the background, which is, I guess, another form of the buster, but it's still nice to see.
You mean the headbutt?
Yeah, the headbutt, which you had to use in the mini games, the beautiful fucking mini games. I
It's
hate that one.
interesting that to get the full ending, you had to get every minor upgrade, and one of them was in a mini game in a hidden area on the map.
That sucks to do. I hate that mini game.
Great, so Ecclesia's got, 20 different areas. There's a lot of levels. So a lot of them don't really have much in them. But then compare that to Metroid Prime 3, where you have, like 5 or 6 planets, though you have 3 main ones. You're doing most of the plot stuff and exploring. So you could say one is a bit more Metroidvania than the other just because there's more potential for exploring within individual levels.
Metroidvania-ness or Crest-likeness?
More Metroidvania-ness.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times Crest-likes will have the levels kind of be like miniature Metroidvanias, and then you have ones that are like stage-based games that are pretty linear, but you can still go back through them. I guess another way you can look at the distinction is by comparing Demon Souls with Dark Souls, where Demon Souls had the hub and like different numbered areas.
I've
Are
never
you
touched
saying that Dark
Souls.
Souls is a Metroidvania?
Well, I'm not saying that they're Metroidvanias, but one of them has an interconnected world and one of them has a hub with a where you select which area you're going to.
I do actually think that's an excellent way to explain it to someone who doesn't know what Demon's Crest is, because it's coincidentally
The
something,
same kind of...
yeah.
And with the same name.
What, saying demon?
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe it should be demon-like. People have
Maybe.
also proposed Clash of Demon Head as uh, being a crest-like, and should have been what I named it instead. I actually hadn't played it at that point, but I played it since, and it doesn't seem like all the ability gaining things are things that you just buy from the shop and aren't like things you find.
Oh no.
Well, that takes the exploration out.
Yeah. It does have like La Mulana style hint stuff because you have to like find some MacGuffins and it tells you where the MacGuffins are.
Interesting.
Why would I take that way when I can just do this game? Love that. Shinoa being a badass once again. Woo!
Should you get the XP there, or should the elevator get the XP?
I did all
Should
the
your
work.
weapons get your XP?
Okay, it's like when you give someone the jar to open. I did all the work, they just did the finishing move. Therefore, I should get all the credit.
Yeah, usually when you give somebody a jar to open, they're the one who actually opened it.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, you're just making your argument way worse.
That's the point. Thanks, Yugen. Money. Oh, serpent scale. forgot I got that upgrade. This is the game where you get it super early. I forgot that.
Yeah, you've actually not really encountered like there was that one area where there was some water, but it didn't really matter much.
Well, because I gotta go back there.
Yeah. I guess Demon's Crest was kind of the same way.
Yeah. I hated the water levels in Demon's Crest, though. My god. Ow. God, I can jump super high.
Yeah, I feel like water levels aren't generally done that well. Especially like water-based power-ups. There's a lot
Yeah.
of games where like you'll get power-ups and like this only works underwater and all the rest of your power-ups do not work underwater.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully Metroid usually avoided that. And especially when you got the gravity suit. Shit felt
Yeah.
good.
Gravity suit's great.
Gravity suit is great. More games need a gravity suit.
More games need to lift things from Metroid.
Or lift things from Demon's Crest.
Hover
that
mechanics.
The hover.
yeah.
Cauldrath loves his hover, which I do not blame him. The hover is vastly underused.
Vertical.
Vertical.
A lot of games will have like a kind of a glide, but they won't
Yeah.
have the like hover where it maintains the altitude.
ActRaiser 2 be like.
ActRaiser 2 is just like they
Fucking
were
weird.
yeah, they were like it sounds so cool and then you actually play it and it's like wow, this is not good.
I mean, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Just terribly executed.
Right.
Like that ship in the background. I always forgot how ugly that was.
Oh, because it's like 3D model.
Yeah. And it looks better on the DS, and I know it does. I know it does. Ow.
You gotta have that CRT.
The
Oh,
DS CRT?
pretty sure that was an LED screen.
It
but...
was.
I wonder how this would work, or how this would look on a CRT.
Probably decent.
Like they probably didn't design it at all with a CRT in mind, but
It should still blur it, I think, pretty nicely. Ow.
I don't know about some of the... Well, some of the sprites look a bit rough the way
Well,
they are,
That's
and having
because,
CRT would help.
a lot of them, like the Dark Octopus there, Killerfish, they were made for CRT in mind because of Symphony of the Night. So,
Right, because they're just copied sprites from Symphony of the Night, I
hey,
forgot.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. These sprites were perfectly fine.
You're right, some of these will look a lot better with the CRT.
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of, like during the PlayStation era, like Capcom and Konami did a lot of sprite recycling.
Honestly, I can't blame them. Fish heads were lifted. I could probably name you every sprite that's been lifted from Sodden.
Yeah.
I forgot bone enemies need to be smashed. Mermen
Yeah,
were lifted.
this game had a lot more emphasis on damage types than the other Castlevanias.
Yeah,
But it also let you equip 2 weapons.
it did. That I never use. I always match them up because they go faster. Ow. I hate these guys. Gelsos.
These guys hate you.
That's
Good,
why they're
because I
trying
hate
to kill
them.
you.
These were an original enemy.
You can probably tell which ones are from Symphony of the Night just by looking at which sprites look the best.
Ow. Right, I got
Which ones look just a little too large and detailed compared to the other ones.
Not always. I think a lot of them actually fit very well. Because they're still bi-pixel. Like Dark Octopi, the Dark Octopi fit in pretty well.
Even with the same resolution, you can have different levels of detail.
Oh yeah.
They do look a bit different than the environments.
Forgot where the save was in the here. One here somewhere. I just don't remember where it is.
Weren't you guys just talking about the other day about how all the save points are obvious in Castlevania games?
They are, but that doesn't mean I don't forget. That's the explodey area, ain't it? Ow.
Well, they'd
Ow.
be obvious in like the castle because the way they do biomes in castles is always the same, but it can be different here because these are weird linear levels that sometimes have not entirely linear parts to them.
Please be, No! I'm gonna die.
You should use your town ticket
No. Why would I need to?
because you said you were gonna die.
I know I was. Not anymore! Oh, another hat. Should probably actually go buy armor at some point. One thing this game does do a lot different, though, is it is more of a mini Metroidvania than Demon's Crest. Because, yeah, those were just always level-based. It was essentially Mega Man with a hub that you had to revisit. Ow! Frickers. Oh, hit.
Yeah, it was kind of. It felt very similar to a Mega Man X game, but yeah, it had the ability, like, it had actual ability gating.
Yeah. Dark Octopi really fucked me.
That's what octopi do best.
That's not actually what they do.
Master, what kind of octopi have you been, coherent or in cahoots with?
None of your business.
Oh no. As your
Don't kink
friend, I
shame.
worry. Get him! Yeah! What are other some Crest-like adjacent genres other than I would say Metroidvanias and Zelda-likes?
And Mega Man likes. Yeah, also have games like Foregone, where you get a bit like it's kind of a linear level based thing, but you get abilities as you go along, and then you can go back and get optional upgrades from previous areas.
Kind of like Cyber Shadow.
Yeah.
If you consider a Souls-like to have the requirement of an interconnected map, then it's relative to all of these genres.
Well, only really original the first Dark Souls had an interconnected map.
That's why it's called a Souls-like and
Elden
not a
Ring.
Souls 2-like.
They're all Souls games, though. Like, okay, do you consider Souls-like to be only based on the first Dark Souls?
Yes.
It's not Demon Souls plus
No.
Dark Souls plus Dark Souls 2 and 3.
Oh, you're forgetting about Ancient City here.
Labor.
Kingsfield. I had an interconnected map,
There's no Souls in that name.
but it's still a FromSoft game.
So Armored Core is a Souls-like?
I don't even know what that is.
You've never heard of Armored Core?
No.
It's
I've barely even played any of the Dark Souls.
it's a mech game where like it's heavily customization based.
Never played
I
it.
glitched that, but I'm gonna take that.
Like it was from Soft's most popular series before Dark Souls. Or before Demon Souls.
I mean, it was a mech. You lost me at mech. I hate mechs.
I think mechs are cool. I feel bad for the people who just want the next Armored Core game.
Because it's never gonna happen.
Or it's gonna be a Souls-like.
I mean, I remember before Sekiro was even announced, people were like, yeah, the next FromSoft gamer. They're going back to Armored Core now that Dark Souls is done with.
Oh, jeez.
So Dark Souls
No,
3 is out.
No, they're just gonna keep milking that until
Yeah.
it stops making money.
Gotta beat the dead horse. Milk the money
How's it
cow till
dead?
she dry.
Everyone loves Elden Ring. It's also like a good open world game, so.
Yeah.
Also, Melphis said, time for Atcero to play AC, the real AC, Armored Core, not Assassin's Creed? You know, is Assassin's Creed a Metroidvania or adjacent?
No.
It's an open world game.
Ah, so it's a
Which-
Bethesda-like. Got you.
And I would
It's
consider
Ubisoft-like.
I would consider open world to be kind of an adjacent genre to Metroidvanias, in that they're both exploration focused.
Just open world usually has
The-
shit for dick for Oh.
The thing is,
Oh.
I'm not sure if the exploration in a lot of open world games counts as exploration. How they present it to you. Like some open world games really don't motivate you to explore, and you just feel like you're doing the activity of getting the new area on your map.
They're collectathons. Elphus Belmont says Assassin's Creed is a trash-like game. Does that mean that it's like Trash Quest?
I like Trash Quest.
Yeah, I thought Trash Quest was like highly rated. I need to play it yet. I have not played it.
Yeah, I bought it like almost right when it came out, and then I still haven't played it. I
It's
need to
really
play a lot
short.
more. Yeah, for some reason I just like don't get excited about the prospect of playing many Metroidvanias.
Neither do I, but you can consider it to be a short platformer challenge slash boss rush game. Maybe
But
that would be more exciting.
No, I actively avoid those.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah,
Oh
I
shit.
agree though. A lot of short Metroidvanias just aren't satisfying in the same way that a longer Metroidvania is.
Mhm.
If you're getting, you get an ability every 10 minutes and then the game's over in an hour. And there's a certain amount of exploration that is lost when you have a game in an exploration genre that is as short as some of these games can be.
Well, I think that it could be fine as it was like dense enough that it had things in it.
A lot of mini Metroidvanias really don't feel like they have, or I guess like when I played Gato Roboto, I didn't really feel like it had stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
hmm Well, that was a I consider Gato Roboto to be a Zelda-like, because you basically go to they're kind of like individual dungeons that you go to, and then you go back to the main like area, and it's a very small area. Just like there's a few ability gates, and then
Yeah.
you get to go to the next part.
Yeah, that game did disappoint me a bit when I played it. Not that it was a terrible game, just because of
Short.
my expectations going in for playing a Metroidvania.
Mm.
See, this is why you just expect every game you play not to be an MV, and then you can never be disappointed. Also,
We just need to redefine Metroidvania so that nothing is a Metroidvania,
Exactly.
and
That'll
then
make
we'll never
everyone
be
happy.
disappointed again.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how I never caught this, but these are named after tarot cards. I don't know how I never caught that my first time playing.
The gold tarot
Interesting.
card.
Yes, the gold tarot card. Spawns a frick
Surprised
ton of gold.
surprised that you of all people didn't catch that.
I was
be
not
honest.
into the occult when I was younger, believe it or not. Not like I am now. Fucking nerd I am.
My only experience with tarot is Quest for Glory 4 and Ogre Battle.
I got 3 decks.
All I know is just from all kinds of games or other media referencing
Oh
it.
shit! Is
In
that a motherfucking JoJo reference?
just the references being used to the point where I just kind of know what they are because of their derivations in other media.
So
JoJo.
have you foiled out your tarot decks?
Hell no.
I don't know what
I
that
do
means.
have one really pretty botanical
It's
one though. That one's actual sexy. I love that one.
like trading card games. They'll have foil versions of
No, I
cards that are
know.
more expensive.
Actually, I
I'm
think
explaining to Master.
I've heard of foil cards before.
actually the botanical one might have some foil cards, or it might have a foil back. Sucks though. Tarot cards are like a dice. Once you buy one deck, you want to buy a fuck ton because there's so many pretty variations. It's like, but they're expensive. I don't need all these, but they're so pretty.
I just have one set of dice that I use. Like I got a balanced set, so it's supposed to be like
You only have
consistent.
one set of dice?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I
Well,
don't
okay.
have any.
I have personally purchased one set of dice. I have gotten some like random dice from other places, but I never use them.
I'm just sitting over here having bought like I bought so much dice. Cause there's when they go out of sale kind of ones.
Are you one of those people that's just like, oh, something's on sale, I have to buy it now?
No, only with certain things like dice. I got like
And
15 sets for $15. You can't argue with that. I mean, you can, but don't.
What do you guys
Big
use
deal.
dice for?
No need for more sets once you have that balance set. But yeah, okay, but if I only have one set and I roll a nat 1 like 3 times in one night, no, I'm gonna be mad at the dice. Not at me. So you gotta change your dice.
So you're superstitious about your dice.
Okay, who isn't when they play D&D?
I mean, I guess maybe a little bit superstitious, but
Everyone is a little superstitious when they play D&D. Anyone who says they're not is lying to you or they don't play.
like the extent of my superstition is I assume that my luck is going to be consistent on a given night.
Ow.
So if I start rolling poorly, I assume I'm going to roll poorly for the entire night.
Oh yeah, no, if I'm rolling shitty, I blame it on the dice and switch my d20. Or if we're playing online, I can't really do that, but you know.
When I'm unlucky at something, I blame the world, not the dice.
Oh no, I
Well,
blame the dice.
the dice are part of the world.
The dice are simply the
Manifestation.
tool through which the world wants to screw me over, so it's not the dice's fault.
That sounds like some divination shit right there. Sorry to break it to you.
See, the problem is that you guys are associating your success and the success of the character with your own success.
Yeah, because I play characters that are me. Obvious.
It's a role-playing game. It's supposed to be like improv, and stuff that happens isn't a reflection on you as a person.
I don't play
I'm gonna die.
D&D, so I am my only character.
That's deep, man. I found out that I like to play characters who can smash things. And smash through puzzles with their face. It's great.
It's pretty ironic.
How's that ironic? That seems very in character for her.
It was a bad joke.
Wait, now I want to know the joke.
Smashing things.
Oh.
You wanting to smash.
Yeah, now I get you. How can I smash things if I don't have a gender, though? That's a reference to Cauldrath. He said that one time and I fucking died and it was so funny.
No, it's how can somebody be sexist against you when you're asexual?
There we go, that's what it was, sorry. That was the joke. Also,
yours just doesn't make any sense. Jeez.
I'm sorry. Melphis said, sounds like a sad like master, and then he corrected it to life, but I think a sad like sounds funnier for what we're discussing today.
Mhm. Yeah, they should. When they got rid of the dislike button on YouTube, they should have added a sad like option.
Yes.
Like, I'm not glad that I like this, but I like this.
Assume they mean the not playing D&D thing being a sad life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will one day. I was invited to a D&D like this morning and I said no.
What?
We could have alternatively said yes.
Had the opportunity to get inducted to the cult, and he said no.
You had one shot, one opportunity, and you let it slip.
God. All I can think of right now, though, is, fuck. Dark
Fuck.
Dungeons.
Okay.
What did you think I was gonna say?
I mean, you just said fuck, so.
No, Dark Dungeons.
Is that the roguelike?
That's Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dark Dungeons is the chit chat. Or the chit track, sorry.
What?
Chit tracks were little religious books. You know the meme, and they hated Jesus when they told him the truth? That
Yeah.
comes from
Sure.
a chit track.
Oh, okay.
And they were little religious comic pamphlets. And one of those was about Dungeons and Dragons during the Red Scare in like the 80s. And how they use satanic rituals and practices to do that, and people would become their D&D character and conduct satanic rituals.
Mhm.
It's a fucking trip. And all I can think of sometimes when I say, like, inducting people into the cult is that.
I see.
Even though D&D mainly just comprises a bunch of fucking nerds who just want to have fun and drink dew the whole night until 4 o'clock in the morning.
I've done things much worse than... Okay, now that I say that I've done things much worse than D&D, that sounds like I'm going in a different direction. No, I played Arma 3, and that's basically playing D&D but way worse.
Bro, you play Path of Exile. Like, my guy.
What?
There's
What does
also
that mean?
LARPing.
Yeah, there is LARPing. I can't deny that. Ow.
I just mean Arma
Shit.
3 is way worse in the sense that you're technically... Like, you're doing a role-playing game, except it's just
The game part.
terrible in every way, worse in every way than D&D.
I guess there's different types of escapism when you
Yeah.
do these things. There's like the escapism of like, I wish I was this person instead of me, and that is, I guess, to be blunt, would be like more pathetic than the other options.
I mean, everyone wishes there was someone else in some respect, though. Not always, but in
Not
some respects, like,
narcissists.
huh?
Not narcissists.
Not a narcissist. That's true,
Not,
and that's the
not
one
people
reason
who
I
are
know I'm
already
not.
awesome.
Hey, ain't a narcissist, and that's how I know I'm not a narcissist.
Yeah, I can't be a narcissist. I hate myself.
Exactly.
You could also like hate yourself, but you think about yourself constantly and how much you hate yourself and still be a narcissist.
Is that narcissism though? Because Narcissus loved himself so much that's all he stared at. So
Well,
can you do both?
it's an obsession with yourself. So if you're obsessed
That's
with
true.
yourself, even in a negative way, you could still be a narcissist.
Hmm.
Obsessed with how stupid you look in the mirror.
Wow.
To be fair, who doesn't do that some days? And then you have other days where it's like, God damn, fucking hot as shit. And then a little bit of wind blows your hair and it's like, ah, fuck, I'm hot. I'm ugly again.
Yeah, sometimes I look at my hair and it's like curling just perfectly. I'm like, wow, my hair looks amazing.
One little
And then
puff of wind, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There goes my flow.
Mhm.
My
Yeah,
coiffed of hair.
I do that too.
You admire your long curly hair?
No, I despair at it being messed up as soon as I step outside.
This is why hairspray exists.
Mm.
I don't personally use it, but
Does it keep your hair from looking drab?
hey man, I can't change my hair.
I mean, technically you can dye your hair, but
Yeah, you can change
Okay.
it. Like, that's one of the easiest things about you to change.
I've never once dyed my hair and I don't plan to. That shit is terrible.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty bad for your hair.
And my hair is thin as it is naturally. I am good. Like, I have a lot of hair. It's just thin hair.
Subjects I never thought we'd talk about on the podcast.
Drab hair.
Hair care, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty par for the course for us, I feel, at this point.
Yeah.
Do not fear the spiraling sidetracking. It's fine. People like listening to distractions.
Oh, I
This
got
is
meat.
a distraction.
I got that mermeat. Take that how you will.
Okay.
It just says meat. Like once you get it, it doesn't matter where it came from.
I think it does
Oh,
matter.
I don't know if it does.
The inventory just puts it all together. It doesn't
You don't want to
doesn't care.
cross-contaminate your meats like that.
That's what she said.
Yeah, actually, there's not a lot of dishes that combine different types of meats. It's
Sausage,
usually just
pink
like
slime.
I don't know what pink slime is.
What?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, pink slime is what they usually sausages use it, but it was more famously known for the McDonald's pink slime scare. Oh, they're using pink slime for our food when it's literally just like ground up meat paste essentially that looks like pink slime. It's commonly used in sausages, but it was
I
during a
don't know.
McDonald's scare.
I don't know why. I just realized like a day or two ago I read that word in that context and I didn't actually like absorb the information. But I saw it referenced somewhere and now I'm wondering where.
The pink slime?
Yeah, it's weird.
There's an effect for that. I forgot the name of it though.
The effect for something suddenly popping up after
Yeah.
the first time you notice it. I mean, that's the thing. I'm only now remembering that I had noticed it recently. Maybe there was something sent in the server that referenced it, and it planted the idea into both of our heads. And that's why we brought it up today in this conversation.
Nah, because I haven't been checking the server that often, honestly. I've been busy.
I do kind of zone out whenever they start talking about food.
Yeah, I pretty much ignore food chat, at least. There we go. I knew it! Funny. Thank
How
you.
did you know?
It's almost like I've played this game before. Is that 100%? Sexy 100. I'll take it.
It's not 1,000%, but
I did get that. You know, and it's weird that we both missed that one room.
yeah.
Now I got it. So now I have one.
It is interesting. It kind of makes more sense to have a percentage of a level being completed versus the percentage of, say, a biome being completed when you're tracking
Like a
parts of
Metroidvania.
a game, like the completion of certain parts of a game, yeah.
Yeah, that is another thing about Crest-likes versus Metroidvanias is they do have that hard delineation between areas, whereas Metroidvania, they split them into areas, but they're a little bit arbitrary.
A lot of games do try to very strictly separate biomes, and that's not really, I don't think that's something you need to do. It's probably just, easier to design all the art for one biome and then for another biome than
It
have them
is.
sort of become each other.
Whereas it would be more natural if they blended together.
Yeah.
And you don't even things biomes can also have several subparts to them. You can, like Brinstar's got Red Brinstar, and that's basically its own biome, but
And
they're
then you
both
got
called Brinstar.
Brinstar overgrown with green. You think I'm joking, but that is the name.
Of the song, right?
The song and the area. I'm pretty sure they used the both for it. Oh, frick! He's choking me! Pineapple is my safe word. Not. Did
I
you
don't
guys
think
even
he's
see that
looking-
video before?
No.
That's a classic. There's a video where this guy, it's a fake video. This guy's getting arrested. And the officers are cuffing him and stuff, and he's like, pineapple's my safe word. It's been a classic on the internet for years.
I believe you.
Probably in the same parts of the internet as Bendy and the
No!
ink machine.
Completely different.
I feel like you inhabit different parts of the internet than I do.
That's because you're a zoomer.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh?
It's been well established that Atcero is a zoomer in denial.
I am not. I had enough of the
You're not
culture.
in denial?
I had enough of the culture where I am a millennial. I got coffee. Earl Grey. Sorry, I got tea.
Earl Grey is still pretty good though.
Unless tea has a fuck ton of milk and honey, I ain't a fan, sadly.
I usually drink coffee, but if I was forced to drink tea instead of coffee, it would not be the end of the world for me.
As long as I had milk and honey.
I don't add anything to my coffee or to my tea.
How do you live?
I live on the edge
Of glory?
of a cliff.
Jeez.
You,
This has been a pretty dark episode for you, Master. Is everything alright?
Yeah, do you need to talk? You feeling okay there, buddy?
Yes.
Are you just saying that?
Coffee will keep me safe.
Oh shit. I don't want to die again to him.
Man, he does a lot of damage.
Okay. Fuck. Now watch me immediately die in the next room.
Don't do that.
I don't want to.
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Oh, I need the wall glyph. I'm just running for it. Oh shit. Holy shit. Skin of my teeth. Hey, skeleton cave! Or I need the lake glyph. Alright, we got 7 minutes. What else we got about Crest-likes?
Oh.
Or it could just be about Order of Ecclesia.
What are your favorite things about Order of Ecclesia?
Probably the different biomes. How their use of different areas. And the glyphs. I do miss weapons, like regular weapons. But this isn't a bad backup.
Yeah, a lot of the glyphs are basically just weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like
They
having that
are just weapons.
separation. Where was that sprayed from, Master? I gotta ask the dull hands.
Oh, I don't know.
Pretty sure those were in Symphony of the Night. Maybe
They're
not
from
first.
Rondo, though. Yeah, I was just gonna say. Because actually a lot of sprites ripped from Symphony of the Night were from Rondo. These weren't. These were originally in Rondo. Or Symphony.
Sprite rips all the way down.
all the way down. Gotta get gold. The song's also really good. Unholy Vespers.
Unholy Vespas.
Sir, we need to exercise this. Why? It's an unholy Vespa.
The existence of unholy Vespas indicates that there could be an existence of holy Vespas.
Very
Vespas
true.
are Italian, so maybe,
The Pope!
maybe they make some in around the Vatican.
Instead of the Pope Mobile, it's the Pope Vespa.
Mhm.
I feel like that'd be dangerous with
It
your
would be
Pope
hilarious,
robes.
though.
How long are Pope robes?
Oh, the Albs? Actually, I don't know how much. Actually, no, those aren't Albs. Albs are for altar servers. I don't know. Oh, fuck, I forgot about this bitch.
But see, you can always get another Pope.
It's true.
There we go. I believe I am very underleveled for this area.
No such thing.
Yeah, I wonder if the fact that it's a Crest-like makes it, like, you're less likely to, like, wander around aimlessly and kill a bunch of things that you didn't need to. So
Yeah.
it's probably less likely that you wind up overleveled.
I think that's actually true.
Yeah.
Seems to be.
So maybe this, like, people say that this is the hardest of the, like, DS and Game Boy Advance, like, is the hardest of the
Oh,
Igavanias.
fuck.
But maybe that's just because you are always overleveled in the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only level 11. I think I usually am a bit higher. For being in the whatever number area I am in.
It's also a lot easier to compare how far you are in a game with, like, you're comparing Crest-likes versus comparing Metroidvanias.
This may be true.
Oh, nice. Gotta equip that quick. Yeah. Don't look very powerful to me. Oh yeah, that's powerful. Gotta use maces against them. That's something with Demon's Crest that I never felt, though. Well, that one also didn't have levels. But the sense of progression, at least in that one, felt pretty good. Same with Shantae. I never felt super overleveled in those ones, but it never felt like I was being walked on and the fucking monsters bitches ever.
Well, neither of those games had levels.
Huh?
Those games didn't have levels like
I said that.
character levels.
I said that. That right away. So I said their sense of progression.
Hmm.
It's like you don't even listen to me.
That's probably true.
I don't blame you.
I don't listen to myself.
Jeez.
Don't be mad that I didn't listen to you. I don't even listen to myself. Which is fair. I do the same. I want to get through the skeleton cave. I can do that, I'm pretty sure, if I don't die again like a dumbass.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Demon's Crest progression, is also one of the first games that I can think of where you could end it early.
Yeah, you could have ended pretty much, what, after, like, the 3rd level?
Something like that. Like,
Wow.
it was actually highly detrimental to them because apparently they, like, so many people returned the game after they beaten it.
Really?
Like, yeah, that they had negative sales at one point,
Oh no!
and that's why we didn't get any more Demon's Crest,
That's
Fuck!
because stupid people didn't realize, hey, there's more game.
There's
You
a
don't
lot
have to just
more
go.
game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of game. It's probably one of the best SNES games ever, too, just in terms of graphics and music. No one can change my mind on that.
But it was hugely unsuccessful.
Because people are dumbasses. I wish there was more of a hint. Because as a kid, I thought the same. Like, I beat Phalanax, and I'm like, this can't be it, can it? And then I looked it up, and they're like, no, it's not. But I know back in the day, people didn't have the glory that is the internet, sadly. Makes me sad, because I love the internet. Oh, fuck!
And you say you're not a Zoomer.
I mean, I grew up with dial-up. I remember that screeching noise.
Yeah, so you grew up with the internet.
That's because my dad was a huge techie.
Okay, so you
Like-
grew up with the internet. So you were more of a Zoomer than your compatriots, like the people your same age as you.
Eh?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're an ultra Zoomer.
Yep.
The fuck is an
The-
ultra zoomer?
The most Zoomer to have ever Zoomered. To have ever Zoomed.
I don't think that's how it works.
Like, that's the major distinction, is like millennials were people who like lived through the transition from
Wow.
like no internet to internet, and Zoomers always had internet.
I only had internet because of my dad, though. Oops, that was the wrong
But
save.
you did have internet.
There we go. I still remember that.
It's a lot more useful to define generations by those attributes rather than specific years.
I will say, if my dad wasn't the techie he was, the time I grew up in, I felt uncommon to have a family computer that was actually hooked up to the internet and used for internet purposes. Honestly, I don't even remember using the internet as a kid, I just remember games, if I'm gonna be completely honest. And then there was a certain time when we were old enough and we did emulators all the time.
But do you remember the transition from having no internet to having internet?
I remember when pictures became in color at school. I remember when we actually used the internet in school and stuff. But not so much as a kid. I remember us going from our old Compact 98 to a Windows XP.
Okay.
I don't know how good 98 was with the internet, honestly.
It was fine. It worked.
It worked.
You put your AOL disk in.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that. Man, I just
I
remember the floppy
dial-up. Oh
disks.
no, I don't remember AOL.
No. I was also a child. You have to remember, I was like 5.
Right. That's the point.
Congratulations, you agree with us.
No, that's what I mean, though. I don't remember using the internet as a kid. Like, me personally. I don't remember my parents really using it either.
Yeah, I'm sure kids like these days don't remember using the internet as a kid because they just don't use it yet.
I mean, I remember using the computer. I remember being better at the computer at 5 than my mom was. Like, that kind of stuff. That's what I remember. And I remember
We're over time, by the way.
I know we are. I gotta get out of the skeleton cave. We can call it, but I'm getting out of the skeleton cave.
Get out of that cave.
I'm trying my damnedest.
Closing thoughts on Crest-likes.
Crest-like is a genre, and yes, we will not stop making it a thing. People
You
can
can't
deal.
stop us.
No one can.
But you must remember that we do not believe that genres are there just to exclude games
Yeah, what?
from
Speak
being
for
parts of
yourself.
other genres.
I do.
They're there to help you find games similar to other games that you liked by like helping people make recommendations to
Yes.
you.
But just because you like a game doesn't make it a certain genre.
Correct.
Ow. Skeleton hero. Ow. Died.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I was the one that coined Crest-like, and I say it has a hyphen.
That
So
sucks. I am the one who wrote the Reddit Discord post on it, and I say it doesn't. So, who has more weight? I think I know. I'm
It has
sorry.
a hyphen.
Oh.
Well,
Sounds
he's
like
a
we've
zoomer.
reached
It
a
doesn't
verdict.
count.
So then your opinion doesn't count either.
I'm more of a millennial than he is.
No, I think we
I've
determined you
seen
were a
the
super
zoomer
zoomer.
generation, and I want nothing to do with most of them. Sorry, Master. You're fine. Just,
Do you
But
like
he's
my
very
age?
quick to lump you in with the rest of them.
I said that he wasn't like the rest of what?
But there's like not even a question about whether he's a zoomer to you.
Oh no, because he's young. He's how many? He's like 3 years younger than me. What?
Am I?
I thought you were.
We'll talk about this after the stream.
Okay. Have a nice night, everyone.
Hi.